So again, continuing with last portion of the chapter, that is economic importance of bacteria and fungi. We're moving on to the last part, that is economic importance of fungi. So basically we go into this. Let's just understand what you mean by fungi. Fungi is a non-green organism. That means fungi, they do not have any chlorophyll. They lack chlorophyll. So from this point itself, it is very clear that fungi, they are not autotrophic in nutrition, but rather they are heterotrophic. So when we talk about fungi, you have already seen, especially during the rainy seasons, or even if you leave a piece of bread for a couple of days, what do you see on the bread? You see small thread-like structures or rounded structures growing on bread. So this is the most common fungi called bread mold. It is made up of mass of thread-like structures. If you go into this structure in detail, what you're going to see is actually fine thread-like structures and a swollen head. This swollen head is called sporangium, and these fine thread-like structures are called hyphae, which you find them penetrating the bread. Sporangium produces tiny spores called sporangiospores. Sporangiospores, when they germinate, they give growth to new bread mold. So this is a structure of the most simplest type of fungi, that is your bread mold, which you find in your bread or even on leather products. Another famous example of fungi is mushroom. You've all seen a mushroom, isn't it? A cap-like structure and small bees. So not all mushroom are edible, most of them are poisonous. Another famous example of fungi is yeast, called Saccharomyces. Yeast are small oval structures which respire anaerobically. That means without using oxygen. It is because of this property that the yeast is able to produce ethyl alcohol and carbon dioxide. So this anaerobic respiration is also known as fermentation, and because of this property, yeast is used to produce alcohol. Similarly, yeast is also used in baking industries, because when a yeast respires, it is producing carbon dioxide, and because of this carbon dioxide, it allows the dough which is used in the bakery to rise up. That's why you have pastries and cakes which are fluffy. It is because of carbon dioxide produced by the yeast. So we have already known the three most important fungi: bread molds, mushrooms and yeast. Out of these, now we are going to go into the economic importance. Already you know about antibiotics. Antibiotics are substances which prevent the growth of organisms which are responsible for causing diseases. So the most famous antibiotic is penicillin, produced from the fungus Penicillium. Penicillin was discovered by Alexander Fleming. Penicillium, in addition to producing penicillin, also causes diseases in oranges and lemon So that means it has both types of uses, either positive or negative. Positive being production of penicillin, which is an antibiotic, and negative being production of diseases in orange and lemon plants. Another important use of fungi is in bakery. I already told you, yeast, what does it do? Produces carbon dioxide. When it respires, this carbon dioxide raises the dough. Another importance of fungi is in alcohol industries. Again, because of the fermenting abilities of fungi, you can produce alcohol. Another one is mushroom cultivation. Not all mushrooms are edible. A few of them are edible, and these can be cultivated, and it is a good source of revenue. So in order to raise mushroom, what you're going to need is a few things, and you have to follow it in a certain process. The first process is composting. In composting, what you're going to do is you're going to collect either manure, waste, and keep it in a area. Then next, what you're going to do is introduce the mushroom seeds, allow it to grow. Next step is casing. By casing, what it means is covering this compost with soil. The next is growth. So when a mushroom grows, you're getting small tiny structures which eventually grows into a huge mushroom. And the last step is preservation, because mushrooms, they have a very short life. They get damaged or destroyed very easily. So when you're preserving, make sure that the area in which you're growing a mushroom has vacuum, no free movement of air, because air helps in the destruction of mushroom. That means if you look at a mushroom, it is basically kept in packets which are filled with vacuum. So these are the uses of fungi. Fungi also causes many diseases. Like already I told you, it causes diseases in lemon and orange trees. So coming to the end of the chapter, basically when we talk about milk industry, the first thing that comes to your mind is probably milk. But when we talk about milk industry, it not only is concerned with the production of milk, but rather also concerned with the production of other products like cheese, butter, curd, etc. So when we talk about cheese, butter and curd, these are basically produced by curdling of the milk. By curdling of the milk, we basically use bacteria and fungi. Now, fungi can also be used to produce certain different flavors of cheese. That's why you might have seen or heard about blue cheese or different forms of cheese, and all these flavors are basically produced due to fungi. So this is the end of the chapter.